would be one, Moises Caicedo, and two, a defensive midfielder. Like, we've gotten to the point where teams are actually ready to shell out 100 million for DMs. We've seen it with Enzo. We've seen it with Declan Rice. We are about to see it with Moises Caicedo. I mean, back in the day, defensive midfielders did not cost that much. You'd find these type of fees being paid for wingers, for attacking midfielders, for strikers. Now it looks like Premier League muscle has gotten stronger. I think that's another thing that we also need to talk about. The kind of money Premier League teams are simply ready to pay now just tells you how much the gap is widening between them and the rest of Europe by the passing season. Because I guess Liverpool just had an internal meeting and said, you know what, let's break our transfer record. We can break it. Even just like that, we can break it. And we'll do it by adding, a few digits to it just to show that, they were good to us with the McAllister deal, so we'll give them some money. In the end, it looks like Caicedo will probably end up with Chelsea. Coach, let me just start off with you on this. I'm sure you've been following this saga. I'm sure you would have loved him for your dear United if he was beside your own, Casemiro. But how crazy is this, that this 21-year-old who's had one full good season under his belt cost this much and is knocking heads of big clubs?
You see, the longer I pay attention to this saga, the more I pray Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will never get closer to Man United as a coach again. Because this boy was offered to United for 6 million when Solskjaer was the head coach about 2 years ago. 6 million pounds.
This is from Independente del
Yes. Yeah. He said there's McFred, Scotty and Fredo. Scotty and Fredo, McFred. So he doesn't want this boy. Today, Liverpool are saying what? They are ready to give the boy 111. Hey! But look, Nketsia, truth be told, Liverpool thought they could outsmart Chelsea. Right now, if they don't take care, Chelsea is rather going to be the team outsmarting them.
Yes.
Because Chelsea seems to have closed Moises Caicedo deal.
They put it aside.
That one is for them.
Yeah.
It is their deal.
Reports say that they are close to sealing the Lavia deal as well.
And Liverpool, you've been going after Latvia. If I'm Latvia, so after all, you could have afforded to give Southampton the 50 million pounds they were asking for.
They didn't think he was worth that money.
You went all the way to 46 million pounds.
And stop.
4 million difference. Then you added. You could raise the money from 46 to 111. So if you are in Latvia, you should be looking at the people, Jurgen Klopp and his...
Could buy him almost 3 times.
Are you serious? So you could have paid that 4 million difference and allow me to have a proper preseason with my new teammates. No wonder Latvia now is even also hoping that he will join Chelsea instead of going to Liverpool. But the question is Moises Caicedo worth? Is he a 100 million pound player?
Oh, Brighton have made that position clear. They say that if Arsenal paid 100 million for Rice and they think Caicedo is better than Rice.
No more. If Casemiro was in his prime, you pay over 300 million.
Probably. By the standards of the market now.
Definitely. You pay 300 million for Carlos Casemiro. Because even at age 30, 31, when he's on his day, he's better than all these people. But can Moises Caicedo get better as a player? Of course. Look at his age.
That's why I want to even let you elaborate a little. I'm sure a lot of people before the Chelsea-Liverpool shenanigans had not even heard of Caicedo before. They know he's a number 6, but what about him has made him so special? Look, watching him, what does he bring to the table that just pricks these teams to want to go and pay 111 million for him?
I think you should, if you've watched Casemiro over the years, you should look at a prime Casemiro. Anybody who's watched Casemiro over the years, in Moises Caicedo, he's not only a destroyer, he's a very good passer of the ball. And for him, the difference between him and Casemiro is that he can carry the ball when there's no one to give the pass to. In other words, when he doesn't fancy the pass, due to the space ahead of him, the area, he can fill the gap with the ball and draw players on.
You mean no fear to bomb forward?
Not at all. And he's a low sense of gravity, very strong, ready. He wouldn't shy away from those
Very the ball at his feet as well.
with those crunch tackles.
Yeah.
So and if you look at Chelsea, they need somebody to go in there and complement Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez came to Chelsea at the wrong time when N'Golo Kante was seriously battling incrudism.
Let me just read this breaking bit coming. So this is some crazy stuff going on right now, guys.
Mo.
Chelsea.
So now he's going to House of Hope.
Hold on. So Southampton have accepted 50 million bid from Chelsea for Lavia,
Romeo Lavia,
who also says that he prefers Liverpool. What is the meaning of this?
He's also said
He says he also prefers to go to Liverpool. So it looks like he's also waiting for
So
Liverpool.
they'll have to go.
What is the meaning of this?
They have to do compromise.
Let's continue. But coach,
that will even make the Sunday game brutal.
I'm telling you, but just to do this for our listeners, between Lavia and Caicedo, right? We probably talk about Caicedo, so he's probably your preferred choice. What is the difference between the two of them? Because they are number 6s. And if you're a coach, why would you pick one over the other?
I think if I'm a coach, I'll pick Moise Caicedo over Latvia because of the fact that he's more physical. And to survive in this English game, in that role, in that DM number 6 role, you can be technically very good. You can be tactically very, very aware of the situation, but you need to protect your back four. And if you put the two men on the same scale, I think Moise Caicedo will protect the back four of Chelsea better as compared to that of Latvia. And in terms of somebody feeling very arrogant within his right, I have to dominate. I have to boss it. I am the best in the business. That's the difference between the two. I think Moise Caicedo is a bit more arrogant. There's a bit more arrogant with his game when he's coming.
Played a lot more matches as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he's very well established internationally.
Yeah.
When you go to the people of what?
Ecuador.
Numokana laya. Those days,
you're right.
Kana boy aya.
right.
Jana le dana baya. He's so irreplaceable.
Klopp says he will feed your 10 siblings. What is your problem?
And you see, Lavia is a little raw.
Yes,
He's a little raw.
19 or 20?
He's 19. He's still learning the craft. I think he has the ability. He's got the talent. And you can tell that he's a player who will go places. But Caicedo is more polished. And we saw different paths to Caicedo during the season. At the point, he even played at right back.
Yes.
For Brighton.
Multifunction.
And I like what Chris said. I think one of the most intriguing things about Moises Caicedo is his ability to take the ball and go with it. Typically, defensive midfielders don't even like to have the ball. They just want to take it off somebody. But he can take it and run with it. You could tell that because of his flexibility, Roberto De Zerbi found him very useful in different situations, and he helped give the team a good lift. So if Chelsea is getting him, that's great. I think he'll complement Enzo Fernandez. But I just look at this entire episode. It really cracks me up about player interest and all of that.
It just tells me that players are becoming more and more aware of
What they
really want and what their game is all about, and how other pieces and how coaches complement what they bring to the table. Because if you are a Romeo Lavia and you envisage yourself in that Liverpool midfield, it is a better fit playing alongside Szoboszlai and McAllister than Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher. It is a better fit for a guy like Romeo Lavia. And when you look at Moises Caicedo's skill set, it is a better fit playing alongside Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher than Szoboszlai and McAllister. You get it? Because it's a perfect fit. And that's how I see this whole issue panning out. But the point is, based on your initial question, back in the day, honestly, trust me, Michael Essie's money that got him from Lyon to
24
to Chelsea,
24,
when you adjust it against inflation, it will
24.5 plus Thiago.
Yes, it will be around the same mark. When you look at what's
Moises
Caicedo's mark, when you look at a guy like Claude Makelele, his game, what it would fetch now, it will fetch the same thing. And I think back in the day, they were important, but they weren't as highlighted as it is now. You can blame the internet and
football is more systemic now.
Because back in the day, I remember the Real Madrid documentary, the Galacticos, the rise and fall of the Galacticos. The players consistently highlighted the importance of Claude Makelele, and the time he wanted a little bit more money because he was one of the least paid players at Real Madrid, and he wanted some more money on his new contract. And Florentino Perez didn't want to give him that money, and he decided to join Chelsea. And the players highlighted the importance of Claude Makelele to that Galacticos experiment. But the point is, at that time, I don't know whether it was ego or football presidents or managers were a little bit arrogant in the way they saw the game, that they believed that putting more attackers on the pitch would help you win games. And
Perez once said if you he didn't care about buying defenders because if you scored, his team will score more.
Exactly. So it was more of putting more prominence on the attackers and wingers than people who were on the other side doing the, in quotes, dirty job. But now football is a little bit more enlightened when it comes to the importance of these nitty-gritty details. And that's how come now the defensive guys are gaining prominence and are fetching a lot of big money. I mean, back in the day, we've had a lot of defensive strikers back in the day, but they weren't applauded for their
defensive strikers.
They weren't applauded for their
who are the
You mean the predecessors?
defensive strikers?
The guy who started alongside
we have been made to understand that Jordan, for example,
he said
an attacking player, he defends.
Yeah,
so he's a defensive striker.
I mean, back in the France '98 squad, the number 9, their striker,
Stefan Givac.
He did all the dirty work. And the likes of Thierry Henry and Jokaev and David Trezeguet were getting all the goals, plus Zinedine Zidane, and they were winning. But now, he wasn't hailed as much as a guy like Olivier Giroud is hailed now. So that's what I mean. It's all about the prominence, throwing that spotlight on those players who do the nitty-gritty things.
You've always,
now that's what we have.
I mean, you've listened to me. You know my importance, how I value players within that role. I've always, even if you listen to me often, if I'm always picking my
you always pick those
I
kinds
always
of players.
go for those type because they are the type of players that you cannot do without them. If you have every other player, and you don't have them, your team will just not.
Yeah, and like I said, football has become more systemic now. If you don't have a DM, you don't have a system at all.
They are very, very important.
Let me highlight another way football has changed. Back in the day, luxury number 10s were so accommodated and praised.
Yep.
Now DMs,
They're being shouted out of the door.
Luxury number 10s are basically dead.
They are being shouted out of the door. And coach, let me read something to annoy you a little bit. 23rd December 2020. Fabrizio Romano tweeted, Manchester United are in direct contact with the agents of Moises Caicedo. The agreement on personal terms, 5 years, won't be a problem. Price tag, 5 million euros. Man United control the situation by weeks and will decide soon whether to complete the deal or not. This is 23rd December 2020. So Manchester United control the situation.
Ole said, give me.
Let's say McFred.
Thank you. But you get the last word of Caicedo.
I think that one, I like how Caicedo has stood up his grounds against Brighton. From day one, it was obvious he had wanted Chelsea. And for Brighton, it's always been about the highest bidder for the club because they are more of he who comes with the highest money, they will take. But once again, I look at what Caicedo has done, and it's a huge statement for Chelsea fans listening to me that one is a player, irrespective of the fact that next season there's no European football for Chelsea. He gets to play that one with Brighton, but he's still willing to let go of that and play for the Chelsea colours. This is a player who has been offered more money by another club in terms of his transfer, yet he has disregarded that. He wants to play for Chelsea. This is a player who wants to respect an agreement he had with Chelsea all the way back in May. So it tells you that he has put so much on the line to make this move work for Chelsea. And I pray.
But can't he see that the Chelsea project is shaky?
It's not shaky. I'm sure he's had talks with Pochettino, and I'm sure he believes in what Chelsea is trying to build. And as a player, I'm positive he has looked at the project that Pochettino wants to build, and he's confident that this is the best for his career
as a footballer. And so he's willing to risk it, even though I feel that, yes, Liverpool may have had a slightly better midfield for him to slot into, because with McAllister, he's already played with him at Brighton, so they know each other so well. He gets to enjoy the Soboslai magic as well. So I felt slightly
He
Liverpool...
did shock me, why? He did shock
Liverpool
me.
offered him a better teammate in midfield, but I'm sure he's one of those players who are loyal to their agreements with people, and he's taking up the Chelsea offer. I hope the Chelsea match up the Liverpool bid, and then they get this off the line. It will be so embarrassing if Chelsea hold onto their amount that they don't want to go higher. With Liverpool's money also there, and Brighton say they will not sell to Chelsea below the 111. It will be so because they'll put the player in a very bad situation. Because how
somebody came with your valuation and then you turned.
How they feel if Brighton also say without 111, I'm not letting him go.
Yeah. No, but why not? Why not? The truth is, Chelsea have to match that
They
valuation,
have to
go
See,
a little higher.
I think the player has done so much for the club to just meet him halfway now. He's offered them everything.
Tony Bloom
He
is a
showed them
brilliant
loyalty now. I think that he showed them loyalty. That
Todd Bowley,
I am for you guys any day.
A problem.
No problem.
The problem is, you sold Kahave 65 million. You've sold Koulibaly and Co.
Shkaiba.
Good catch. Shkaiba. This guy, he's a player.
Yeah.
You need.
They
That's
have
why,
to
you
have
see,
him.
He's denied Pochettino the opportunity to have proper pre-season with the player. Look, when you listen to coaches talking, they hate it when a player who is so much needed
He did.
is
He's been
not
made to
part
wait.
of the
Yeah.
workout stages of the
You
season.
typically want those players before your preseason. even
Exactly.
starts.
We've seen-
Everything is going
We've
to
seen,
recover.
we've seen how players struggle when they don't have when they don't have a good preseason. We see them.
Look, I do believe that Casemiro would have had a better impact than what he had
if he had
come
pre-season.
a bit earlier.
You see,
But he's Casemiro.
and
He
they
could
need,
adapt.
they need the player. For me, I don't know why they're I don't know why they're hesitating.
Mo.
I think a lot to
they need the
unravel.
player.
I think a lot to unravel in the next 48 hours.
Maybe because they paid high amount for
There's an update here that says that Liverpool are actually ready to walk away from the Caicedo deal. So there's still
No, but they
a
won't
lot
have
to go.
told them he won't play for them.
Yeah,
So
he
they
doesn't
should
want
go.
No, but you see, that's what Pichichi is saying. It is dangerous.
Very
Because
dangerous.
What if Chelsea decide? Chelsea's bid was what, 80 million pounds plus add-ons. That is a very.
If they
long
also don't
way.
want to go higher.
That is a very long way for 111
If
million.
Chelsea don't want to go higher, Brighton,
And I'm
Brighton
sure there'll
already
be-
Brighton. They also want the money.
And I'm sure there'll be financial fair play implications for Chelsea
Yeah.
based purely on how much they have already spent in the
And
January
all
window
that.
coming
You see,
through now. So
see,
very
he's
interesting.
taking a lot of risk for Chelsea, and I hope that they also do this for Caicedo. He's
Which year would do it?
Ouch.
Ellen Haaland.
Okay, so quick update. Burnley versus Manchester City is 2-0, right? Yes, it's 2-0
2-0.
in favor of Manchester City. Erling Haaland has 2 goals already. Why is he doing this?
Which in the ground? Batman and so on.
Charlie.
So
why
so
is he
then,
doing
yes,
this?
to sum it up,
He's only earning his salary.
Thank
He's
you.
being paid to score goals.
Finish up for me. Let me go to another
and
transfer.
for Pep Guardiola, I said this season Haaland is even fitter and better than last season. So just imagine. So in summary, I hope that Chelsea make this work for the player. He's done so well. They need him. If it was to be player they didn't need, I would have said okay, but they need him so much. And for me, the money that they're using to go and bid
But
for
the
Lavia,
boy said
see the
he
Lavia,
should- I'm sure
the
see-
Lavia money. They
I'm
can
sure
hold
Lavia
on-
will end up on the
see,
bench from the way they are going.
They can hold on to the Lavia money
And-
and complete the Caicedo move.
Of course, this is what they've done. They were talking to the American
Tyler
guy,
Adams.
Tyler Adams. And then
because of that, they've said,
They've said,
hold on.
hold on.
But
They
for the
pulled
boy
out
to-
of that deal.
Yeah.
The boy too, I'm sure for
He
him
completed
to have
the medical.
openly-
Oh.
For him to have openly told Liverpool that I don't favor, I'm sure he's spoken to Chelsea.
Exactly. So they
Giving him the assurance.
they should do
that
this for
they'll
him.
pay
Yeah.
the money.
They have to do this for Caicedo.
Let's
They
talk
showed
about
loyalty.
let's talk about a player that is interested in Man United and should interest coach Jean-Claire Todibo. Plays his football for OG Cities. He's a product of La Masia, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah, he was with
played,
us.
Played for Barcelona some time ago. He's about 6'3". Very mobile defender, passes the ball well, pretty athletic. You see this if I'm buying players for teams, these are the kind of players I'm buying. But unfortunately, these players are not flashy enough for most teams. These players have not made 50 national team appearances. But if you've watched this guy play, he's brilliant.
he's really
like
good.
it's paining me that United are actually scouting properly. It's paining me.
That is Ten Hag.
This guy-
Do you think
Jean-Claire-
Ten Hag would have turned down Caicedo? Do you think he would have turned down Caicedo? Only.
He was signing with Chiki E.
Today there's a game between OG Cities and Leo.
I think-
There's a United scout in the stands.
Just to
Nathan, just
finalize
quick
everything.
thoughts on Todibo. Is that a priority signing for United? Does he start games for United if he makes it? Because that United defense has big names. Don't forget our captain, my captain, your
Everybody's
captain, everybody's captain is being forced out. We'll talk about the disrespect of Harry Maguire on another show. But quick thoughts on Todibo. Quick thoughts.
You mentioned that. I think he possesses features that Erik ten Hag likes a lot. And with Harry Maguire's potential exit, Man United need to fill the spot. United are trying to sort out the right-hand side of their defense. Now, the other reason why United wants another player in is that they cannot really count on Rafa Varane. Rafa Varane is a very good defender, but he is injury-prone. So United need to have a player in there to fill the spot, a player who they can call on. And United want to have 4 proper centre-backs. As things stand, they've got Rafa Varane, they've got Lisandro Martinez, and then there's Victor Lindelof. So United want to add a 4th player, so they have variety in that centre-back position. So I'm not too surprised Man United are actually considering this move. And I feel that if they want to make a move, they need to make it really, really, really quick, because there's football to be played on Monday. Meaning that if whoever it is they bring in, that player will miss a few games and then may have probably up until the end of the month to get going. You know, and United will have to act very quickly. But if you look at Todibo's profile, I'm not surprised Ten Hag is looking at him. I'm not surprised at all. He fits the mold of a defender who has the ability to pass the ball, can do his work, is brave and athletic, and carry the ball, and he's young. Because now, if you look at
comfortable with the ball.
Yes, if you look at the profile, if you look at what Manchester United want to do, I get the sense Erik ten Hag wants to reduce the average age of this team so that they are relatively younger and then they can last longer. But, you know, more importantly, have young players, because young players are more malleable than older players. You can teach them new things, you can put them in new positions, you can try to be flexible with them. And Ten Hag wants to give this team a rebuild. On a lighter note, it takes me back to something Ralf Rangnick said when he was around, that Man United would need between 8 and 10 players to repair their team. Back then when he said it, we all laughed. But if you count the number of players United actually have signed under Erik ten Hag, we are at 8, if not more. And I feel that whether or not
the team needs open heart.
And whether the owners took it seriously or whatever it is, the words of Ralf Rangnick really are turning out to be very prophetic, because United have signed 8, 9, 10, whatever, and they'll keep signing, because the truth is Man United need to repair their team properly if they want to make a proper title challenge. So Jean-Claude Todibo, I feel that is a good signing. If United are interested, it's all well and good. Once there's a scout who's watching, I feel that after this point, whatever report this scout gives, I think it will kind of tie everything together, because the inside story is that Erik ten Hag is leaning more towards Todibo than Pavard or any other of the options. So it looks like if he's happy with the scouting report, then maybe United might now want to start the process officially and see if they can get the player in.
Okay, let's talk about Mohammed Kudus briefly. I saw a picture of Mohammed Kudus on the opening day of, I think it was Ajax presenting their players. Charlie, senior man really vexed.
Boy,
Senior man really vexed, because he thought that by now, medical completed, you'll be hearing, you know, Kudus, I like having you here. You want to try some Rigoto after, you know, Deserbi will be talking to Kudus after, you know, his first session.
What is the actual problem?
So the problem is that Kudus wants a release clause inserted into his contract, purely because he's seen how this Caicedo saga is playing out. He's seen how Kukaraya's transfer played out, and all of that.
He's seen how difficult Brighton
can
negotiate.
be to deal with. So he says that the only way he's going to agree to go to Brighton is if they put in a release clause that he and his camp agree with. And Brighton are saying, you are not about to do that. We are the club. We are the ones with the money. We are not about to give you a release clause of your choice. And so that is basically what is holding up that deal. I'm sure Brighton thought that they were about to touch the Liverpool money, and so Kudus would have been wrapped up soon. But Chelsea say they have their own idea. So I don't know, guys. I don't know where you are with this, but coach, this is a very...
Look, for me, I agree with Kudus 50-50. I don't agree with him entirely. Yes, there have been times where you've had players made sure that there are release clauses in their contract so that they are not held hostage before they leave. But at the end of the day, I still do believe that if you go to a team like Brighton and you do well, whoever wants you, whoever
Brighton
needs
always sell their big players.
you, whoever needs you, the person will pay the money. Look, that is where we've got into when it comes to football transfers. That is where we've got into. If the buying club really needs you, they will pay the money. They will pay the money. And I think that he shouldn't throw this opportunity away because of that. Go make sure you argue or you make sure that you are well paid. I think that is what he should be focused on. He should not be very much worried about the price tag on him if he were to leave Brighton today. That shouldn't be his worry at all. Rather,
I mean, go and play your football.
play football, get good money from them.
Don't worry
Tell them,
about
look,
those things.
Give me 80,000, 100,000 pounds a week. That is what you should be concerned about, not
The release clause.
Release clauses. Leave that to your agent.
Leave that to your agent, and of course, like I'm saying, football transfers are such that if the buying club
Really wants you.
They will pay.
you,
No,
they'll pay the
it's very
valuation.
obvious.
They'll
These
pay.
days, these days.
Declan Rice, I pay 100.
Alisson Becker. Big
Alisson
money.
Becker.
72.
Man United paid for Pogba.
Even Harry Maguire, when
United
Leicester
paid
City
80 million.
we're dragging
Paris
him.
Saint-Germain, Neymar.
They paid. They met the.
So you see, he should look at where he's going, the mileage, the competitive nature of the league. If he's able to stamp his authority and dominate opponent, where he's going to get him. And therefore, whoever needs him.
Chris, I even think Kudus should look at the next phase of his
That is
career
what we're talking about.
and what De Zerbi could turn him out to be. Because let's not forget, and for a lot of people who haven't followed Dutch football or don't speak to people in the Netherlands, Kudus was a tactical headache for Ajax.
Yes.
It took them a long time
To figure out.
him out.
He was on the wings.
Kudus is a tactical headache, not even
Yeah.
for Ajax. If
Even-
watch him
even
play,
Black Stars.
if you watch him play, tactical discipline is not one of his strong points.
You know, so he needs to look at it and say, okay, maybe taking this move will make sense. It will polish him up as a player. Because see, Kudus already has the explosive thing that attracts a lot of teams. Look, I speak to colleague journalists in
Speed,
England
yep.
and places, and they are amazed by Kudus's ability because they saw him firsthand when Ajax went to Anfield and Liverpool went to Ajax and all. So they know what he can do. So I felt that he would make this move, go through De Zerbi's hands, get elevated, get polished tactically, because after Brighton, it can only go up for you. You won't go and play for Brighton, do well and go down. You can only go up. You know, so this, I really,
for me,
I heard
see-
some people tweeting that he doesn't want to be held ransom.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
For me, with the thinking behind it, I'm like, okay, if a player starts making these demands even before he joins a football club,
He doesn't want to.
then
be there.
it means that it's clear you don't really want that club. It's one of the basic things that players do. If they don't want the club,
They try
start
to
making some
excuse
weird
it.
demands and all that. And it tells me that maybe Kudus has thought about it and be like, okay, Brighton.
Maybe Brighton
See,
might not be the place for me.
I think that one, he enjoys UCL football. I think he had looked at the possibility of not playing the UCL with Brighton. And I understand that at a point in time, it's more Europa.
but
At a point in time, and I had this information that he would have preferred to be at Dortmund rather, where he gets to play in the Bundesliga
And play the
and also
Champions
the
League.
Champions League. So clearly tells me that with the Brighton move, maybe the club wants him, but genuinely he doesn't really want Brighton. Two, he sees Brighton as just a short-term
Move, yep.
So the plan is to be at the bigger platforms.
Yeah.
He sees Brighton as just
as a stepping stone that he needs to.
a quick one, a quick stepping stone. You see,
Is it Dortmund
and-
he wants to go to? Because the Man City, the Man United, the Arsenal, even Chelsea that we all thought should be calling him or should be going
Yeah.
in, are not ready to go in for
For
him.
him, yep.
and it's interesting why they're not going for it because Nkunku is injured.
Yep.
That is shocking to
Once
me.
Nkunku is injured,
There's a void.
and if he links
does
to
Nkunku
Kudus,
come
think
somewhere
about
in
it.
December?
Nkunku come
I don't
even
think-
next year.
Even next
I don't
year.
Even
think-
next year.
I don't
So why are
think-
they not
I don't
seeing
think
Kudus?
I don't think Kudus and Nkunku are
similar.
That I don't think they are similar players. To
No,
start-
obviously they are not.
obviously
they are
No,
not.
they are not.
Now, I still think that maybe the reason why some of these clubs haven't played their hand for Kudus, maybe they are a little hesitant. Maybe they look at him and say, there's something in there, but maybe he needs to develop maybe a bit
A little more, yep.
Somewhere he needs
Yep.
to go and show us
Yep.
or do a
Yes,
bit more
yeah, he's at
convincing
Ajax, it's
somewhere.
fine.
Come to a bigger platform and show us you
maybe
can do
play
it.
at
for them.
Brighton and
Yep.
Dortmund for 2-3 years. Let's see how he fares.
I think so.
Some of these teams want you to play in certain environments. When you pass that test, boom, you are ready. And I always take the example of Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Look, Borussia Dortmund will not spend money on a bad player. So once Bellingham came to Dortmund and he started excelling, it was the confirmation big teams needed that this guy is ready for the big time. And Real Madrid made their move. So sometimes players need to understand where they are in their careers and know that the right step at every point is important. Take Erling Haaland's career. Went from Austria, went from
RB
Norway
Salzburg.
to RB Salzburg, then to Dortmund. When he was at RB Salzburg, people were looking at him. When he went to Dortmund after 2-3 years, the confirmation Man City needed that this was the guy. Then they saw it in that environment. Okay, he's ripe. Let's pluck him and let's see what he can do. He's delivering. So I feel that some of our players need to understand the evolution of their careers and they need to make very good decisions at very appropriate times.
One bad decision could
One
take your
bad
career
decision.
downhill.
That's it.
That's it.
But clearly, he doesn't want the Brighton move.
Well, let's talk about another move that is a big Premier League transfer. Lucas Paqueta to Manchester City. It's picking up heavy steam. 80 million pounds
Pep Guardiola.
plus add-on. So Man City have had their first bid rejected. West Ham say Paqueta is also worth in excess of 100 million.
I listened to David Moyes this afternoon. He said, yes, they received offers from Man City.
But they are inappropriate.
They are inappropriate. They've not matched their evaluation. It's not
You mean they are nowhere in the
thinking
range?
about it. They know what they should do. Man City are clearly aware.
Man City know what to do.
They know what to do. So they are waiting.
And it makes sense because at the end of the day, he has 4 years left on his deal.
That is where
That's one. And number two, he has a buyout clause of 85 million pounds that can be triggered after this summer, after this season. So if you are going to bypass all these clauses, then you have to deliver something very, very huge, and that's 100 mil at this point in time.
I have a question.
I don't think Paqueta is worth.
Oh, of course
No,
not.
for me, as for these
West Ham,
Guys,
don't
you see,
don't
why
pass
is
your head
West
over
Ham
the
doing
money.
this?
I have a question. Though.
Yeah.
We've all seen Paqueta play. How does he fit in at Man City? Because it's something I've been thinking about the whole day.
Good question.
I think they
They play a
I don't know,
4-3-3.
You see, he's not better than Bernardo Silva.
Nope.
No way.
Kevin
no
De
way.
Bruyne is injured.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
it
a
will
backup.
It will stretch the Man City midfield because you know that Kovacic will come in and behind Bernardo Silva, who comes in, Cole Palmer. Is that your best?
But Cole Palmer is a winger. Paqueta is an attacking midfield center.
Exactly, and that's the stretch.
Pep should be looking at replacing Gundogan.
Yes.
I think that is what he should be
He's
looking at.
replaced him with Kovacic.
No,
Kovacic
Gundogan
is not the-
replacements cannot be Kovacic. I think Kovacic is there to supplement whatever.
The archetype is the same. The output and quality is not.
Exactly.
There's a huge gap.
So he should be looking at replace. And if you look at Paqueta, is it the player to actually replace Gundogan? I say no. For now, I would have rather looked at a player like Phil Foden and play him as a number 10.
But if it's a number 10 they want to
go
play,
after a winger, because
Paqueta can play number 10.
that's what I'm saying. But Paqueta cannot play wide. He
He's
can only
not
play in the
in the
middle.
middle, yeah.
And if you look at the middlemen they've got, I think he should rather go and get a winger and put Bernardo Silva or Phil Foden in
the
that.
middle.
But let me just again contribute this, just to tactically understand what he's doing. If you see Man City play, there are times when they've played De Bruyne as a rum dieter, like right hand side,
Yes,
occupy the
on the
space.
right side
If
of
that's what they
midfield.
want to do, I've seen Paqueta do that for Brazil. I've seen him do that on rare occasions for
Okay,
West Ham United. Because when he's on the inverted side, and Paqueta is a very good striker of the ball.
I get that.
30 yards, 20
But
yards, he
you
can
see,
strike the ball. When the ball is
what-
in his strong
What
side,
De
he can
Bruyne
strike.
gives Manchester City. Not even the. You see,
Maybe they're not looking for a direct replacement in case he's not
of course,
there.
we know Pep. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's looked at
looking
his
for what
profile.
Paqueta can do.
Yes, and what he
If
can
you look
add
at
to
this
the team.
young boy, Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Why Pep should be encouraging
giving
that boy.
him the yeah.
But that boy, in my view, if he gets the sort of playing time that Phil Foden gets,
He explodes.
But even
and breaks out.
Far better than,
Foden hasn't had as
Nketiah.
much play time.
He's been withdrawn from last season.
Yes, from last
again,
season.
don't forget there's Grealish there. Grealish too is still in that team.
He's
they
yet to
still
recover
have,
from the
and,
drinking.
and according to reports as well, Jeremy Doku is a player that interests City. They are close to agreeing terms.
what I
He's a different
Left
type,
winger, right
he's a
winger.
different type of
Explosive.
player to what he's
Man City,
explosive.
they are just going around in circles. They are just going around in circles. Looking at what is happening between Brighton and Hove Albion and
And Kudus
Ajax.
is the man, eh? Kudus is the man for them.
Isn't Kudus at the same level as Lucas Paqueta?
Even better than him,
You see,
even better
yeah,
than him.
yeah.
And what Kudus brings to the table in terms of his dribbling ability, he's ahead of Paqueta in that category.
Yeah, I get you. The problem with Kudus, and I think all of us here in this parish all understand, the
Yes.
problem with Kudus is this other side of his game. Now, if we are saying
That's
that
what
Man
Pep-
City
Thank you,
should
coach.
make a move, I get your point. Chris, I get you. I'm only saying that I wonder if Pep will have, maybe he may have the patience. I don't know. But when I look at Kudus's off the ball work,
He's introduced Foden, Palmer, this young boy, who is
Rico
playing-
Lewis.
Rico Lewis. So he should be able to look at Kudus.
Yeah.
And Kudus himself will be a
see,
very, very
Chris,
naive.
I get you, but you
If
see,
he's playing
Chris,
for
the
Pep
players you
Guardiola,
have
you're
mentioned,
not ready to be
guys,
there.
And he won't learn. He won't learn under
100%.
Pep Guardiola.
the players you have mentioned are players who understand Pep's way of doing things.
Yeah, but
So if you are
Pep-
bringing somebody
Pep-
from
you see,
outside,
Pep says go out there, bring in players,
Uh-huh.
and he works on them.
great,
So he can do the same with
fine,
Kudus.
I get your point. But okay, maybe I'm just looking at Kudus and wondering
Nathan.
whether he'll be able to shed some of those quote unquote bad
Oh, he can.
habits.
Oh, he can.
And
He
then-
should be able.
Nathan,
No, yeah, he
if
can.
Man City bought Jack Grealish for £100 million and he greatly struggled in his first season.
Now he
Pep
now-
Guardiola was patient with him.
so he can be patient
He
with
can be
Kudus.
patient
Fair
with
point.
Kudus. And number
Fair
two,
point. I agree.
If you buy a player for 100 million and
And
you
you
will not be
won't-
patient, be there.
By this point,
Can you buy a player for 100 million and say you will be patient?
But with Kudus, he will go for like what, 40 million,
40,
50
50
million.
million, yeah.
Exactly. He will have the patience with him. And before coming to this point, we talked about how great coach Roberto De Zerbi is and how he can expand and utilize the full set of Kudus' skill set.
Pep will do it better.
Pep will do even better.
Fair point.
Let me read a few messages before we talk about Wilfred Nyonto. He says he's being
Adjei
held.
guy.
He's being held hostage by Leeds. He says the game that they have coming up against Birmingham, no, he won't play. Lambert from Dodowa says the Premier League is back. My top 6 for the 2023-2024 season. United to win the league. Hey, Lambert. Man City 2nd, Arsenal 3rd, Newcastle 4th, Chelsea 5th, Liverpool 6th. God is watching you. This one here says that you did book medicals, give somebody in player. Hey, Dr. Amuzu, this guy. Alex Dwayne in London says Liverpool win on Sunday. However, that should just they should just sign the Ghana boy Lavia. Simple as that. Lipu Mama says my Panorama crew, great show. So Klopp missed this Cars guy and is still at post. Are you, Charlie Lipu Mama? They really worry Klopp. Aye. Prince Henry from Koforidia, big ups to Prince Henry and the Koforidia people.
Yep.
Says, I want to urge all Chelsea fans that Caicedo will be our player by the end of today. Regards to my awesome Chelsea fans, Malik Ofori,
It seems
Kali
Kevin
J,
De Bruyne
Fentuo, Honorable Fifi Kwete. Regards to the City Sports crew for always giving us the best. He said,
He's
It
injured.
seems Kevin De Bruyne is injured.
Yes, and he's been replaced with Kovacic after just 21
De
minutes.
Bruyne.
So it means that
So-
it means
so
we
there's
need to
more-
find.
We at the red camp, it's okay. We won't say
Yeah,
anything.
there's more impetus to go get Kudus.
Or Paqueta.
More impetus to go get Kudus.
Y'all is
Paqueta.
marketing Kudus for them.
Or Paqueta.
Somebody wants to know the name of the FIFA training ebook for grassroots football. Lawrence from Kofori. I think Nathan can help you with that.
I'm trying.
Yeah, he
I have to
probably
find
put
it.
it
I
out
have
in
to
here.
I'll find
Yes.
it.
Kali Jones from Labadi says, I haven't heard and seen a coach who has been so sure and certain of another team's player to sign for him than Jurgen Klopp. Not a good PR for him. Also, he was thinking that Liverpool could hijack a deal off the masters of deal hijackers Chelsea. They should go and sleep. Now, the only Caicedo they might get in the minutest chance is Linda. Who is that? That one even
Linda Caicedo, the Colombian lady, the striker.
That's the only guy I said only.
Charlie, this guy, Kali Jones, behave yourself. This one, Benjamin Nketsia says, good evening, guys. Why refuse to pay 50 million for Lavia but ready to pay 111 for Caicedo? Is Klopp really serious? Klopp is just trying to tell you that he thinks that Caicedo is twice the player Lavia is. It's just as simple as that. It's not really hard to crack. Togbi Ajoga, the fifth from Mamprobi, says, welcome home, Caicedo. We have been chasing him for a long time. We pray for welcome home where? Have you seen him at home? This one here says, Kopina Adjei-Mintah from Dansoman Control says, Caicedo has apologized to Liverpool. And the reason is he cannot sign for them because he takes his girlfriend out for dinner on Thursday nights. Charlie, this guy. Charlie, let's be serious here, please. Patrick, aka Terror at Adjei-Mintah. Charlie, Terror, there's some way. Terror from Adjei-Mintah, there's some way. He said, good evening, my boss is in the studio. Trust everyone is doing well. Okay. I always find joy when I hear from you guys in India, especially Nimley. Charlie, the man be for much, and I hope to meet him one day. I'm sure you'll bump into him one of these days. Ted Lasso says, hi, Panoramians. This is Drifty from Pokwase. The only player Liverpool go fee sign. Charlie, I'm not serious. Alvino from Akosobo.
Let's get a message.
He's not serious.
What did he say?
He's not serious. He's just be what? Macado and Macach. Charlie. He's not serious. Our video from Akosobo says, Ben, the Caicedo deal reminds me of the Rafinha saga. Abensu from Spintex. He says, Caicedo plus Lavia and Enzo. I can't see the rest. Akape from La Paz. He says, if Luis Diaz and Jota should stay fit, together with the recruitments we've made, they will be the team to challenge City again next season. Arsenal won't even finish top 4. Rodrigo De Paul from La Paz. Hey, Charlie. I didn't know Rodrigo De Paul lived at La Paz. Since Liverpool went to Brighton with 140 million and got Caicedo and McAllister, went to Brighton with 140 million and came back. We went to Brighton with 140 million and came back with Cucurella, Potter, Wayne Stanley, Bruno Salta, and Robert Sanchez. Sads, please play this song for Liverpool fans. Daddy Lumba will be at Simisubo.
Which one? The remix or the original one? The one featuring Kwabla Kwabna?
I'm not even sure. Kingsley from Community 25 says, Coach, please, for Lavia, the problem is not the money. Liverpool could have paid 50 million, but as a buyback clause to City, and that can be triggered. No, that you see, people don't understand. That buyback clause is nullified the moment he moves on from Southampton. Yes. If it was
if
that
City won now, City can go back and trigger it now.
Yeah. This one here says what you guys are refusing to say is if Chelsea were to get Caicedo for £100 million and now they are going to pay more, at least 50 more, who is losing here, Liverpool or Chelsea? I mean, listen, it will.
Do you want him or not?
I think Liverpool won't be again, like I'm saying, Liverpool shouldn't be too hurt by Caicedo because you were not chasing Caicedo the whole summer. Yeah. You just looked at somebody's moment of weakness and thought you could capitalize. And then the player says that, you know what, I'm a loyal guy, so I'll stay with these people. It shouldn't be that painful because he wasn't on your radar for starters. And now what should happen to Liverpool? I'm just saying, it's not my money. But what should happen is that if you don't get Caicedo, you have no reason not to spend on at least 2 quality midfielders and a defender. Because that's a lot of money you were going to splurge on one player. So you should be able to spread it around. Share the sugar. Again, Klopp, let's see some action. FSG. I'll come back to the message box in a bit. Just quick thoughts on Wilfred Nyonto. Yeah, just snap thoughts. He says he wants to go to Everton. The people are holding him hostage. Or say, ball non Bobium.
Yeah. It's one of those things where once you get relegated to the championship, you are bound to lose a lot of quality players. Mm-hmm. And yeah, even though you might adopt a tough stance, it's very difficult to negotiate your way through such dealings because at the end of the day, we've seen Ward-Prowse, what Southampton had in mind as the price tag for Ward-Prowse. It was 50, 60. And now West Ham is on the verge of getting him for 30 million pounds. Mm-hmm. It's simple because you know that the guy won't give his all in the championship. And you know that this guy has served the club well and he's too good for the championship. Mm. So you need to let him go. At a point in time, you need to let him go to prevent him from prevent a very good guy with very good character from becoming a cancer to the locker room.
That's all right. They've gotten there at this point.
Exactly. So at this point in time, you need to let Nyonto go because he will be a good fit at Everton. They need as many wing forwards as much as they can. Mm. You just can't simply rely on Calvert-Lewin and their strikers they simply can't go out there and get top level strikers because they have FFP issues hanging over their head, and so they have to operate within a very limited budget. And even with that limited budget, Nyonto is gettable. So why wouldn't you want to go get him? And they've shown the willingness to get him, but unfortunately, it's Leeds United that is trying to play hardball. But at the end of the day, they should let him go because you can't operate from a very weak stance. And at the end of the day, it's all about leverage. You don't have much leverage, so Leeds United need to let him go. It's just the same thing I see with Southampton. Southampton are letting some of their best players go. Leeds United should also do same because at the end of the day, it's not the player's fault. In this particular case,
Somebody's misbehaving.
In this particular case, it's not the player's fault.
Yeah.
Not the specific individual's fault that Leeds United finds itself where it is now. So they should let him go.
Nyonto to be don't commit to. And Nyonto,
Anyway, Bobby Firmino is scoring goals.
Yeah, but
hasn't he just scored against Edouard Mendy?
I don't know, but he scored a hat trick.
Charlie, that's what it's going to be like.
But I've seen Edouard Mendy too getting lobbed.
It's lit over there in the Saudi League. Let's get to the Premier League. Let's preview this weekend's action. Man City already making light work of Burnley. That was expected after the Community Shield, especially. Big game this weekend. Liverpool, Chelsea. Huge game, especially on the backdrop of all that is happening.
Once we talk about Harry Kane.
Nah.
No, we'll talk. Good.
Nah.
Harry,
Good.
Why she da no about her size 50?
Oh, Charlie.
Harry Maguire.
$1 she.
Let's box that up. Let's two transfers more. Maguire and
then,
Kane.
you know,
Maguire is still not gone. Our captain,
Sure.
my captain,
Maguire,
everybody's captain.
yes,
a quick one on the Hurricane one. I think that let me start with the Michael Owen tweet. And I think that one, it's a huge disappointing one from such a legend of the game.
I'm really shocked for him.
For him to compare winning titles with Bayern Munich to a record in the Premier League. I
Michael
think
Owen
that
basically said that
see
the Bundesliga is trash and there's no class in winning the Bundesliga, so Harry Kane should not go.
if this was
How can you say
if
that?
this was a desperate message to convince Harry Kane, I think that he should be ashamed of himself.
Who should be ashamed of himself?
Michael Owen, I'm glad it has happened now for Harry Kane. I still feel that with where he's gotten to in his career, he needs to win something. Yes, he has served Spurs a lot. He's done so well for himself. At Bayern, he's guaranteed trophies. You know that.
I think, look,
I think once Spurs will not sell to an English rival, and this move was there as well, it's good for his career. He needs to do this for his career. I don't want a player who will have this lovely career retire, and then he looks at his trophy cabinet and there's nothing there, or he looks at his career and there's no proper trophy. Spurs needed this. I don't care what the English media will say, what the former players are saying and all that, that it's a bad move for him. He should have stayed and beats that Alan Shearer record and all that. It's a good one for Harry Kane. It's a good one for English football.
Coach, you wanted to say something?
look, I think Kane is going to Bayern Munich. If he wins the league, I have not think they would see him as successful. They want him to go and win the
It's
Champions.
just like the basketball version of Kevin Durant going to
Because
Golden
it's
State
something-
Warriors.
Ring
There will
chasing.
always be an
It is something
It is trophy chasing.
They do
I don't
without
think so.
anybody.
But he needs
understand?
those things.
That's good
as a
context to
player.
situate it.
Of
in.
course, you see,
This is a team that wins with or without you.
I said,
But
it is the
they need to win the
Champions League.
Champions
Maybe
League.
individually, maybe he gets his hand on the shield,
The Bundesliga.
the Bundesliga, DFB poker title, and then maybe a goal king. But I think he will have to get them to win the Champions.
Yeah, but
League.
in acquiring,
They need to legitimize his
you see, in acquiring,
apart from that.
in acquiring Harry Kane, Bayern Munich they've bought somebody who knows how to score goals.
And a
I
proper
think-
replacement for Lewandowski.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
under
that's what I'm
Lewandowski,
saying, that
because when they had
without him-
Lewandowski, they didn't even have to play well because they knew that we had this guy. If we play decently and we create the chances for him, he'll bury the ball and score. So
I mean, to be honest with you, I think he should have stayed in the AP.
Oh, he should have left.
and what and gone for
EPL
free?
You see, he
So
overly
stay at
I mean,
Spurs.
He overly respected Daniel Levy.
I
I
wouldn't-
think if you look at his stature as the captain of the English national team,
yeah.
the time has came for him to have walked with Daniel Levy. Say, do a deal with
Man
Man City. Do a deal with Manchester United. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in the EPL. I'm leaving Spurs. I want to go to Manchester.
Yeah, but you see,
it's
Kane,
more of the-
Kane as
for
a
the
person,
fans.
Kane as a person.
That's what I'm saying.
When you listen to people who know Kane, he's not that type of
No, but
character.
even if he had done that, it would have taken nothing away from
Yes,
who he is.
you
as
see,
a human
when
being.
Man City came calling, Kane wanted the move,
Yes.
but he did not want to rock the boat.
So you see, the
And
first
rub-
time he didn't rock the boat.
Yes, yeah,
I think this time around,
yeah. But this
it
time,
wouldn't have amounted to him rocking the boat.
Uh-huh.
He would have just gone to the man and said, "Do a deal with this thing. I want to go."
but you see, the point is that Spurs had a decision to
They,
make.
they were
And I
waiting
think-
for him to do that. That Daniel Levy stands by saying, that I'm not going to sell him to an
To a
English
rival,
rival.
yeah.
What do you mean by that? Don't you buy English rival team? He should have gone there. And for me, that is where
Yeah, you have a problem.
I have a
I
problem.
think you have to,
with
you have to look at
because
the fans, the
look,
Spurs fans and all.
mileage-wise,
You see,
look,
Harry Kane has
mileage-wise,
always been a
he's
player
not
for
going
the
to get
fans.
the mileage.
Yeah,
You see, when
he's
you were-
always that
when you were-
type
when
who
you were-
doesn't want to upset the fans
when
and
you
all
were-
that.
when you were
Yeah,
captain-
He's
when you were-
already a legend of the club.
so he wants to maintain that.
Look,
Harry
If he
Kane
had
always
gone-
has been that way.
Look, he could have said that, sell me to Man City, sell me to Liverpool. So when he plays Spurs and he scores, he won't celebrate, which is much more respect.
Harry Kane's career will always be one that will
But
spark.
for me, it's a
the
good
big-
one. It's a good one.
Let's talk about our captain now. Our captain,
Say Harry.
But
Yes.
look,
Say Harry.
I'm
Maguire.
champion
delighted.
defender.
I'm delighted.
Delighted that
for
what?
Kane.
Okay. I thought you were delighted that Maguire is going. Like,
I'm
they-
a-
But on that score too, I am.
Look, I am extremely delighted.
I don't call me this move.
I'm extremely delighted.
Don't come here.
That
One
Harry
don't come here.
Maguire-
Play on your court.
There's no way he's going to remain. Look, why should he? He's fourth choice centre back. Even that, he's fifth choice. Because Luke Shaw will always play ahead of him at centre back. You see, Eric Ten Hag, he's made it very clear that
Some
you just-
preseason game where he was on the pitch and the captain was leaving the pitch. They took the captain band around and they gave somebody like.
they
I'm
gave
like,
it to McTominay.
Charlie.
Yes, was it Caprito on Sunday? They gave it to the goalkeeper. You see, he just will not fit into the Ten Hag way of playing football. If we you see, he's flat-footed, and I proved that the other day on scorecard. Size 50, flat-footed, and
But how did you
because
know
he
it's
cannot
size
run.
50?
No, I proved it. The video is all over the place. He cannot push high up the pitch. And you see, psychologically, teams have always all seen that. When it is Maguire there, all you need to do is to put pressure. He will score.
His confidence is
Look,
shot.
the goals that David De Gea had to drink
Oh,
because of Harry Maguire. He attempted the same thing. Onana nearly slapped the hell out of him. No more now.
Behave yourself, mother. What is the
Onana
meaning
nearly
of-
slapped him. So if they had look at what he's likely to do to Onana, he's like Onana ate the dress.
No more.
No more. And if
I can't work with this guy.
No, but look, on a more serious note, Harry Maguire has spent 4.5 years at Manchester United. The first two were good.
Oh, what?
They were brilliant.
Why? Why?
Under Ole, the first two.
Oh, no.
But the first two seasons were
His first year was
bad.
brilliant, coach.
I said they were
Coach,
good.
his first year was
But
brilliant.
if you ask me, I think Harry Maguire's downfall started with a particular game. Man United won, Southampton won. And in that game, all Maguire kept doing was fouling players. Every time somebody attempted going past him, he was
fouled
pulling
the
the player down. He didn't even want to run. Or he couldn't run, as it turned out. And from that game onwards, Harry Maguire was never the same
We
player.
went to Watford. He had the ball.
That 4-1.
He dribbled. Then he went and he just found the player. Red card. And he didn't care. He just threw the captain by a ticket. Yeah,
You know,
referee.
and I think the Southampton game was after the episode in Greece. He was never the same player again, and you could tell that his confidence.
After his shenanigans in the corners.
Trying to bribe a policeman.
He was
Manchester
never
United captain.
the same player again, and the weight
Of the captain.
of the you see, and again you go back to Ole's bad decisions. Why would you even hand the armband to Harry Maguire?
Somebody who who's playing career, he's been relegated once. He came from
Shef-
Hull City.
So I feel that everything came together, and once there was a new manager who was ruthless to insist that only players who are fit to meet the standard should play, it was always going to be like this. But you see, in all of this, I'm happy for one reason. That for the first time in over 10 years,
13 years.
Manchester United are acting like a big
A
club.
big club.
If you are not fit, you get
Get
thrown
out.
out. Go and play somewhere. Because you see, Ben, it is such methods that have
And
led
Fred Iti.
teams like Liverpool and Man City to the successes they have chalked. Bayern Munich and
ruthless.
Barcelona. You have to be ruthless. Why are you mollycoddling players? Players are on 200,000. Look at now, Maguire he's leaving, but he's negotiating some financial.
United will have to
5 million,
agree
6 million.
to pay part of his
But look
wages
at
for him
this.
to go.
No, we've given him half
The
of the
compensation.
Thing. Go, yeah.
You see-
You're in.
So I feel that United need to. I feel that United. Look, they've cut their losses. They've moved on, and that's what big teams do. You move on. If he's not good, he's not good. Just move it on.
Fred Iti. If you're Tomini, you need
Oh, Ibaya.
Tomini.
No, as for Tomini, I have my
the
special
time-
thoughts on
by the
Mark
time-
Tomini. This is
by
what I think.
Source.
I'm about to probably say the most outlandish thing ever about Scott McTominay. I think Manchester United should keep Scott McTominay for a reason. I'm coming for a reason. Not play him as a midfielder, right?
Hey.
I think United should put an asterisk by McTominay's name and say, this guy, he's an emergency striker. This is why I say so. McTominay's younger days was spent playing as a forward. If there's anything we've seen about Scott McTominay is that if for that
He's a good ball
he
striker.
he can strike well. So I feel United, if the exit doesn't happen this season, United should keep him. Throw him on 5 minutes.
If we don't
When you are
sell-
leading 3-0.
If we don't sell McTominay this season, nobody. Right now, we are rejecting a 30 million pound move.
You see,
If we don't sell him, nobody will give us 20.
Chris,
I'll
and
tell you
I'm
something,
coming. And
you know?
the final, and I say so because of all the midfielders United want to throw out, the inside info I have is that Eric Ten Hag looks at Scott McTominay and he doesn't want to like throw him out outright. You get the point.
40.
Maybe if the right amount of money comes, yes. But I'm just saying that United should add an asterisk to his name and say that this guy, he's a secondary striking option. If it
Amrabat
doesn't
is
work
waiting.
because he's physically imposing. He has height, right?
Yeah.
Throw him into the box. Let him head
He's
the
been
ball.
around for close to 7 years.
Whatever you do, he has already
And
done.
I'm saying that
That
United.
physically imposing stature has always been there.
Whatever you
One
can
no
do,
go.
whatever you can do, it's already done.
I tell you,
I
I think by Ten Hag's third season, every player he came to meet who
Will be out.
doesn't
Will
meet
be
his
out.
standards will be
Come
gone.
on, get out.
You keep him and you become like Phil
Today,
Jones.
Forbes Sackers has resurrected his career.
Yeah.
So
His
clearly,
contract is being. We are
so
to
clearly, it
extend his
shows that
contract.
it shows
Go
that
Bomo,
if you
Dobaya.
apply yourself
You will stay.
and you work,
But
the
Tommy
manager-
won't apply himself.
As for McTominay, we know McTominay has only one speciality. Those who watch football during the COVID times, the British commentators will tell you, they said all he did the entire season was to be insulting players on the pitch. Hey, which team do you play for? Bournemouth, foolish man. You don't even have money. I have more money than you.
Imagine.
That's what he was doing. We know the stadiums were quiet.
For this,
Yeah, they could hear him.
Just insult.
So then he say, hey, West Ham.
what can you do?
What can you don't even have money?
You stupid
I pay for my 200,000.
For this alone, they must don't go me him. Let's talk about the big game on Sunday. We'll touch on the other games as well briefly, but the big game is on Sunday. It's a Chelsea-Liverpool game. It's huge. And again, I'm saying this game would not have taken on as much importance because
Charlie,
early game
Charlie,
season.
it's-
But this Lavia Caicedo.
I
Imagine this. Just imagine this. Like Chelsea unveil Caicedo. It's fine.
Charlie, don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm sure they will do.
See,
Don't do this.
see, I think that the
add
game,
extra
the game was
spice.
well spiced.
I won't be shocked if Chelsea are working around the clock to get a medical done just so they can give him a
Exactly.
match on the
before
on
before the match on Sunday.
See, Liverpool have blood in their eyes going into this game. I'm telling you.
I just hope that it will be an improvement from last season's games. I think last season they met twice, 2 goalless draws. Very boring game. I'm expecting goals this time around, and I think that everything is spiced out for this one. Chelsea claim they are back. Team
Guys,
they are back, but Liverpool should give them a very good match.
Coach, I'm a little worried about Chelsea.
I am seriously worried.
No, I mean, okay, they say the striking problem will be solved by Michael Jackson.
I don't
Sorry,
Nicolas
sorry,
Jackson.
sorry. I'm sorry. Nicolas Jackson. Sorry.
Tabitha Cool striker.
I'm sorry.
I really
Nicolas
don't
Jackson. They say he will solve this. That's one. Nicolas Nkunku's injured, and it looks like
will
a
come
very bad
after
injury.
December.
Yep, looks like he's out for a minimum of 4 months.
Yeah, he is.
come after December.
They don't
16
look
weeks
to
more.
have sorted out their defense yet. They've named Reece James new captain, Ben Chilwell, who is physio room specialist, as his deputy. Their midfield doesn't look complete yet. Are they ready for the season?
I don't think so. Maybe fitness-wise, yes. But, I mean, player-wise, player for player-wise, this is not the Chelsea we've all come to seen over the years. So many things is just not right. Chelsea going to a major season, especially if you look at how bad they were last season. One would have thought that they would have learned their lessons quickly without delay. Whoever we needed to come in there will come, because they did a lot of shipping. They've sold Kai Havertz, they've sold Koulibaly, they've sold Mendy, N'Golo Kante has left, Kovacic is
Mass
gone.
exodus.
Mason Mount is gone. Loftus-Cheek gone. So one would have thought that if you are selling these type of players, letting them go, I don't have a problem with that. But the money, quickly without delay, should be reinvested into the team. And if not, like bringing in exactly the number you've sold, certain key positions should be sorted out.
Like,
For example, getting a renowned goal scorer. I don't know what they see in this William guy. Maybe he can do a job. For me, when I watched him play in Spain, he didn't convince me to be the Chelsea type of striker. But who knows? But the DNA of Chelsea, anytime the African guys go there, they tend to perform. So that is what I am banging my hopes on, that he will more or less get everybody to remember the Didier Drogba and co for him to go and perform. Again, if you look at their setup at the back, they've got serious injury problems. Fofana is not there, but they are sharing. He's also not there.
But yeah,
He's also not there. And then they are still relying on the old Dwaddy. Yes, he's experienced. Thiago Silva, he will guide the young ones. But when it gets tough, can you see this Chelsea team being presented in front of Man City for them to put up a challenge in front of Liverpool? Maybe on Sunday we'll see how battle ready they are. And then in midfield, where it matters most, that is Chelsea's department. I mean, this is
the engine room.
This team had, at one point, they had Michael Essien, they had Claude
Michael Ballack.
Michael Ballack.
In
Frank
recent
Lampard.
history, N'Golo Kante in
They
his
have
prime.
N'Golo Kante in his prime.
Fantastic
You understand? This is the engine room of the team. As we speak today, apart from Enzo Fernandez, you can't look at that Chelsea midfield and say, come on, this is a department they are very comfortable with. If indeed they've sat down, they've diagnosed, they properly analyzed the team, they should not be dilly-dallying on this Moise Caicedo thing. This thing should have been long done, wrapped up. You went and paid 88 million pounds for this boy from Ukraine, and you cannot pay 100 million for an established English Premier League player. Eventually, you are going to pay the money. So, look, I think it's been very poor on the part of the handlers of Chelsea. This, of course, has got nothing to do with Mauricio Pochettino. The Todd Bowley-led board, those people who sit there. That is, again, one reason why, personally, I've always disagreed with them getting rid of somebody like Peter Cech. I think, yes, Granaskaya, she's a Abramovich sort of person. But Peter Cech is a legend of the club. He understands the way Chelsea is all. He understands the Chelsea standard. So such a person should have been kept
there.
so that he will now tell them, look, let's do this. This is what we stand for. Learn the culture of the team from such a legend. They didn't do that. The Premier League is here. Sunday, look, imagine if they don't get a result against Liverpool and they go away the following week and they also get beat. The pressure, then Pochettino will have to do a Ten Hag.
Flip system.
Lose your first 2 games and then have to adjust.
Look for an interim system to accommodate
restore
your
confidence before you can begin. By then, Man City is already leading 2-0. They would have taken some pace on you. And Chelsea cannot afford, they cannot afford not to go to Europe next season.
for another season.
Financially, it's not going to be good for them. So look, everything points to the fact that they are not ready. Because, I mean, we've seen Chelsea in the past 10, 12 years. We've seen how they go about their things. Anytime they don't do well, they come back the next season and they are ready to go. And Liverpool themselves don't look convincing in midfield as well. They've not replaced Fabinho.
There's a lot of Matrai Marquez about to happen.
They are not
I think
good.
that's
If
the
you look
biggest-
at Matip, you look,
Yeah.
even Van Dijk himself is not as imposing and dominating as he once was.
You hear the commentary on Van Dijk from former Dutch players, you puke.
Yeah, if you look at the boy from France, Kunate, he himself is like he easily.
He's
gets
never
lost.
been a first timer.
Exactly.
A
And
first
he
team
needs to
player,
play
yeah.
regularly to establish a rhythm. Then
But he
can-
needs to have a partner.
a partner, of course. And one would have thought that Van Dijk will be doing that. Is Klopp going to bring Alexander-Arnold into midfield?
Looks like he will.
Like we said, but from the way things are looking,
need to buy a
I
right
think
back.
he needs to buy a right back.
I'm not sure why
and bring
Liverpool
him
have
there.
not bought a right back. That should have been a
Yes,
huge priority
so that
for them
the
coming
young
into the
man
season.
Would now be
Play,
made
yeah.
permanently as a midfielder. So it's like the two teams on Sunday, they've got issues.
Lots of uncertainty
lots of
going.
uncertainty around them. So at the end of the day,
Like Chris said, look, I think that whatever happens on Sunday will, and I won't say it will make their season, but it just tells you how they look like ahead of the season. So I just hope that the two teams can solve the pressing problems they have, and all of them seem to have very similar problems in defense and especially in the defensive midfield part of things. But it will be interesting. The drama surrounding, the transfer stories, has made Sunday's game really exciting. We'll see. But like Chris said, Mauricio Pochettino, even though he has a young crop of players, the expectation is that he has to get this team functioning well. So Sunday, they won't have to start very well. Liverpool will also have to get going very quickly because you don't want to fall behind. That's the last thing you want. You want to give Man City a head start, give Arsenal a head start, and then you are trying to do all of that. But I think Liverpool need to, and I'm wrapping up, Liverpool need to quickly think about a Fabinho replacement. I don't think the other parts of midfield have too many issues. Szoboszlai and McAllister are wonderful players to have. They've come in to replace Milner and some of the others who have left. It is the defensive midfield part because you've seen Liverpool in pre-season where they are giving goals away easily. They are very easy to play through. And Klopp needs to fix that very, very quickly. He needs to find somebody to plug the hole and give that defense a lot of confidence. We've mentioned Van Dijk, and he is not looking too good. And the gap between him and Matip is wide. So as soon as Liverpool change the centre-back pairing, you find that the dip in quality is huge. And they need to fix it very quickly, or else it will be another season where the forwards now have to be bailing Liverpool out all through games. And you don't really want that. You don't want that in a season where the forwards you are now trying to outscore teams 4-3, 4-2, and you need more than 2-3 goals to win games. It's not.
And we're doing that a lot in the preseason. They're scoring 4-4, so that even if they concede, it will be a win for them.
Let me just quickly go through the full fixture list for match week 1 in the Premier League. Man City still leading by 2-0. Yes, so I have the fixture list here. So, yes, Burnley, Man City first game. Erling Haaland getting both goals to begin the season. Tomorrow, early kickoff, we go to the Emirates. Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest. That's a good game. We have AFC Bournemouth versus West Ham after that. Brighton take on Luton Town. Everton take on Fulham. The Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Newcastle take on Aston Villa. And then on Sunday, there's Brentford versus Spurs. Chelsea versus Liverpool, the big game. And then on Monday, there's Man United taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. So good games to begin match day 1 in the EPL. I'll try to see if I can read a few more messages before we bow out. Let me see. Funny how Caicedo wants to join Chelsea, but would have been a better fit for Liverpool. I think we're talking about this. But as a United fan, I live for moments like this. In Chininsu from Kaswa. In Chininsu, you are really salty, you this guy. It's Siano from UG. Yes, can you explain the uncertainty of Chelsea's project? It feels similar to asking me not to like Puka. Caicedo's focus is solely on Chelsea. By the way, I always enjoy tuning into the nation's top sports program. Puka consistently keeps me engaged and energized throughout the week. And this week was no exception.
Now, Puka, the energy drink.
I tell you, Chef Papo, says now this Haaland thing isn't funny anymore. Brighton never wanted to sell to Chelsea because Chelsea refused to let go. Okay, so there's that. That's about it. Let's talk a bit about the FA. The nomination forms were submitted today, I believe. The Camps picked them up, submitted them today. Today was a deadline. A lot of people were not expecting the contender for the elections. George Afriyie says, not lie. Quick statements made by Afriyie. George Afriyie basically says, our football needs rescuing. Keto Kriku says, the football is in a safe place or it's in safe hands. So that is what it is looking like now. PGT, I'll give you the word on this one quickly. I think we'll have a fuller program on this because of the craziness of transfers. We cannot talk about this right now. Just a quick
the election is in September, so we have more time to get it.
So just snap thoughts
a
on
quick
this
one. I think Coach will disagree with me always on this, but with what I'm seeing with the football people in Ghana,
they were doing formal over here.
It seems they're not ready for any change. It seems they are okay with where Ghana football is at the moment.
Can you imagine?
Yes, from what I see, from my keen observation, the change that Coach
was savings, get investment, fair, a lock. Cook.
Cook. Haircut me a day.
No go boy. Four more ni bononi.
Cook.
We get 4 more now.
Thank you.
Where's your money?
Land for me.
Where's your money?
Land for me. Like a sliding tackle from off the pitch.
4 more. See, 4 more. You can lucky. You know money to fair. Lucky fish. I can't slash it down. I'm enjoy.
With the football formal, it seems the formal is likely to happen. Unless maybe the delegate I'm sitting around.
They borrow the formal from. They will take it
the
back.
formal is a bad formal.
Formal is a bad formal. Wrong.
Unless maybe on that D-Day, 27 September, they betray Keto Crack. If not, with what I'm seeing, it's difficult for me to see him.
It looks like a straight battle.
Exactly. Unless they betray him on election day.
Those who came with the formal. In Kebuakeshi. You see the regional FA chairman.
Yeah.
In Kebuakeshi. Abepo ka boti ballot mini sankpolo emi. Ballot sankpolo emi ke I'm telling you. Come on. What hashi in Ghana football will rescue itself.
You mean
because look, if you can have $1.5 million given to you by both CAF and FIFA annually, $6 million in 4 years to develop our game, and you are saying 4 more, and you see this as proper development, but the next 4 more, but going on 4 more. No, going on 4 more. Because look, we'll have time to come in this.
I think
the amount of money that Keto Kriku has received as
this.
Ghana Football Association president or FA under his regime,
you must give us a
is
breakdown.
Unprecedented.
You must give us
CAF 250,000 annually. FIFA 250,000 1.250. $1.5 million from CAF and FIFA combined annually. 4 years, $6 million. What have they used it for? Polytank. Unveiling of Polytank. Ghana football will be rescued. And if you look at the sponsorship packages, the amount of money that the government of Ghana, for the first time under COVID, our national teams, money, World Cup, $25 million, everything given to this administration is unprecedented. If you are a regional FA chairman, and you allow people to take decision and for 4,000, you don't need 4,000 to vote for him. You don't need that.
We'll come back.
Our football is dead. Our football is suffering. Our football is
you
I have to be passionate.
Yeah, you have to
Coach,
be
There's passion about this.
Coach,
The enemy be a 1 year. Time come back.
I'll give you time to expand on
but
it.
Program
for me,
Now,
it's difficult.
look, it's very tough.
I like Coach's passion
How
and
can
his
you do
vision,
this?
but see, if somebody doesn't want change, you can't
No.
force change.
Don't look at what they see, what you see there.
They say you should wait for D-Day. They say wait for the election sample.
Roger Free 4 years ago said what? I hoof up.
I will for pie, yeah.
What a pie. You saw their hoof. Didn't you see that
He
hoof?
lost the election.
True.
Look, the assurance George Free had 4 years from this same delegate.
Delegate, yeah, and they betrayed
Did
him.
you dream that
I was
Kennedy
there.
become
I was
FA
there.
president? He won. Okay. Noni Bakodan Ebegbe.
Thank you. Quick shout outs before we
Yeah,
go.
quick shout to Eric Plim of Deep Fresh Seafood and a belated happy birthday to your friend, our friend, everyone's friend, Daniel Annan.
Danny,
Very
Danny,
stubborn,
happy belated
stubborn
birthday.
engineer.
No more. I have
Uh-huh.
some few shout out.
Thank you.
My first shout out,
Thank you.
the first one,
Thank you.
it goes to Traffic Catering Services.
Thank you.
There's this guy there. Call him Senor.
Mean
And his
Traffics.
mother, Traffics, the one at the National Theatre there. No more. This program, if only you know the blessings of this program on the life of certain people, no more. We will never joke with this program. Like, all the companies in Ghana, they should come and sponsor this
Panorama
program.
enters places.
In Kalakabu,
Oh, Charlie.
Antibella. Mama, you ma job no. When I think about you and Kamini, afi, akpe, abo. Do you know any work be you what job okay hoy? Okobi no senyo, okay you ma job. Now to the rabbit man.
Oh,
Shanton.
Shanton, yeah.
No more. Last 2 weeks, his wife buried her father.
Oh,
condolences.
condolences to them. Yeah.
Of course. No more. To Mrs. Hammond, Mrs. Joanna Hammond, my one and only. Your husband said, I should tell you, you are his one and only Lile. The Lile is written here. My one and only Lile.
Thank you.
He said, may God continue to bless you, sweetheart.
Amen.
I was glad I was at daddy's funeral. We are so very grateful for his life. He led a decent life. And God will reward him even in his grave.
Sure.
Then last but not the least, Nana Kunedu, there's this friend of Patawa who called me over or during the week. And Charlie Bemesmo was an A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, people love us. Nana Kunedu, she's the stout Manchester United supporter. Mami Mikasa, Mama Ghana Nyatunga.
Oh, Charlie.
Oh,
Nana,
Ubema fine.
Ghana Nyatunga.
in the whole Ghana.
Na
Ghana Mamo fan.
Mamu fe.
In the whole Ghana.
Ghana Mamu fe.
In the whole
My job onu Kunedu. God richly bless you, young lady.
Charlie,
Shout out.
Richard Mensah has a final word for us.
He said what?
Head of team. He says that special shouts
Nice
to
one.
Manchester City fans in Ghana.
Easy.
They want to tell us that
That-
we are wasting our time. The league, they win it 4 times in a row. So everybody's going to sleep. He said they have wrapped up the league already. He said 4 in a row coming, 4 peats. I didn't know it was anything like
Simple.
that. But it's coming. So that's it from us
Well,
here.
then keep on my shout out. My shout out.
Hey, Charlie. Today the shout outs,
Yeah, exactly. So quick one before Nathan comes in. One to a very loyal sports panorama man, Sedinam Edmond. He listens to the show every Friday. So
He or she.
Edmond.
Edmond
I thought you said
Edmond
Sedinam.
said it. Yeah, Edmond said it now. You know the Evers.
I know the Evers.
Evers have
Oh,
it.
sorry,
yeah. Edmond said it now.
Sorry.
And then the second one is to my neighbor. It's our birthday, so happy birthday, my neighbor. No, we can't get into names.
You can't mention your neighbor's name.
No.
Your neighbor doesn't have any.
Yo, it's fine.
It's
This young man here, coach.
Yes, and born now.
Coach, Nathan, talk to us.
Anyway, I'd like to say happy birthday to my cousin,
Of course.
Dr. Nikita Adjei-Mintah.
Dog.
Yeah, she's a smart woman.
Dog.
Yeah,
Happy
my,
birthday.
my aunt's daughter. So
Happy
Nikita, happy
birthday, young
birthday to you
lady.
once
Doc,
again.
why you need now?
Dog.
And I'd like to say shout outs to my mate from Accra Academy, Elon Mawaji.
Blow.
Yeah, you know he's the CEO of Kubehine.
Oh, no more.
This week he brought me a few things.
He's the CEO of what?
Kubehine.
No more build the Accra Academy.
So Elon, good evening to you and thank you so much. And good evening to the Accra Academy 2004 year group. Charlie, every day they are arguing on the.
No.
But I love the guys. I love them.
Big
nonetheless.
shout
They
outs
are
to all of
beautiful.
you. Big thank you to all of you for tuning into Sports Panorama. Show proudly brought to us by Game Park.